some time back and drew our border, basically cutting our villages in the middle. If you go to Tunduma, we are resolved, we are agreed. The important thing is for the two business sides groups, two in one, Tanzania, Zambia, to checklist these challenges. Do not assume that we know them. Yes, we know that we need to get our optic fiber network. We need to get our interconnector energy. We understand. The physicality, physical parts, the ones that are easy to define. We know that we need to cooperate and support the two economies on the gas side, your gas find. The two governments know that we need to cooperate in the huge industry of the future, EVs. The two governments know that together, plus our other neighbors, we host all the strategic minerals. Mention it: copper, cobalt, nickel, manganese, lithium group, metals, rare earth. We have them. We know that. And we've agreed to share in these resources for the greater benefit of our economies. But it's you to definitively identify the projects, the investments that will actualize these opportunities. It's you. That's why you are business people. And once you've done that, you've checklisted this. I've listened to the two sets of colleagues, the ministers and also the business associations. The issues that the business associations, Tanzania, Zambia, bring to the table must come in a succinct manner, in a clear manner, non-ambiguous. You are clear what you want. Then the ministries will also add on to their checklist, the governmental checklist of issues, what we expect from businesses like yourselves. Having you express to us through the ministers what you expect from us. But around the projects, especially those that take strong economic, commercial viability. Because some projects will require governmental support, public ticket, in order to facilitate the viability of the private businesses. But when the two sides are clear, it is easy now for us to dissolve those two sides, those two checklists into one, consolidate them into one. And then we can draw a matrix, an action plan, a walking path, I call it myself. Working, but I like to call it walking path, from here to the door and out there. What's the meaning of that? What exactly do we need to do? I think that's where we fail as business communities. Because I sat where you sit. And like say, President, Our Excellency Samia Suluhu Hassan is not doing certain things for us. I hope I'm talking. Once you bring clarity to the table, it's not your issues. It's our issues collectively. To the table. It's not your issues. It's our issues collectively. Because she wants to create jobs for her youthful Tanzanian population. I want to do the same. That's how I'll be judged after 5 years in office. I want to create business opportunities. We We want to create business opportunities. We want to grow the economies, our economies. But we'll do it together. At that point, it's no longer them against us. It's no longer the private sector versus the governments. It's no longer the governments against the private sector. No, we have a vested interest, isn't it? We have a vested interest. So I was debating. I looked at my notes here. I said, no, I'll say what I feel. I don't want to go through what someone wants me to say. But what is said here is correct. But I want to emphasize this element. And I said to my colleagues in the Zambian business community that don't say the government. Say we as an economy need to do the following things. It is a different mindset. It's a totally different mindset. And it makes it easier to work and go through things. I thought that would be the key message I would deliver this evening. We are ready. We have no choice anyway, the two of us. We don't have a choice but to work together. I wished we had a choice. The two governments have no choice, but equally, the two business communities have no choice but to work together. If you drive your truck, you are a fleet owner in Tanzania, and you're carrying goods into Zambia, into South Africa, you have to deal with issues that affect you when you cross the Nakonde border. Otherwise, your goods will not arrive on time. Your costs will increase. And I hope, Madam Your Excellency, these teams, I like the way they worked, especially the business community, they worked together and stood next to each other there. Your relationship must be a live one, 24/7. When you face the challenges, you first talk to each other. Then you drag your two governments to come to the table. And we will come to the table. I'm sort of going round. I want to make a point and rub it in. I have that habit of rubbing it in. If the Zambian trucker can't enter, Madam Your Excellency, we will discuss these things tomorrow in the bilaterals. If the Zambian trucks can't enter Tanzania, for example, because Zambia is not a member, Tanzania is not a member of COMESA. It's a member of the East African community, but not a member of COMESA. That is there, but it should not be the reason why the Zambian trucker cannot operate in Tanzania when the Tanzanian trucker can operate in Zambia. We are big enough to find common ground and not driven by associations, because these came later. We came first, isn't it? The landmass of Tanzania, Zambia came together with one family. The queues at our borders. I heard you talk about, I like what you said. We should not be proud of a one-stop border post. With the digital advancements, we need a non-stop border post. I'm glad. No, one-stop means more shillings lost. More shillings lost. Idle time. A bit of someone opening the cover of the truck tent and nips one bag of something, cargo there. We move through the border. I like what you've said, 24/7. The borders must be open 24/7. We can put enough lighting there. Madam, Your Excellency, we must work together quickly to help each other to move to a 24-hour economy or economies on both sides of the border. So nothing artificial should stand in the way. Infrastructure at our common borders. Very important, very important. These are priorities you, the business community, must be saying. The budget, we want to see the budget of Tanzania, United Republic of Tanzania this year. And we want to push for a similar allocation on the Zambian budget. Business houses. For what? To improve the infrastructure at Nakonde, for example. For the reasons that are obvious. That's the sort of influence we would like the business communities to have on governments. After all, it's your money, isn't it? Are you not the taxpayers? Are you not the taxpayers? Follow through
your money. Once collected by the taxpayer, follow it through. So that some of it is allocated on areas that affect your business.
Isn't it? Madam, Your Excellency, our revenue units must collaborate. I like what I heard there, single window. Single window, real time. When we are parking goods in Dar es Salaam, we in Zambia should be able to view the goods being packed there. Real time. And any appropriate taxes to be paid,
they can also be paid electronically. Then we can reduce the fidgeting. When we improve the revenue collection in Tanzania and in Zambia, overall it means we are improving the quantum of public revenue, the public case. It actually logically makes sense to reduce the tax rates. If we are not collecting revenue that any government needs to collect to provide the services that are required, the tendency is to increase the tariffs, isn't it? Tax rates. But when we collect more, because everybody pays a fair share of the tax, and because we're digital, because we're real time, single window, due to the time of paper, we're pushing paper.
There's a rare opportunity that we can actually begin to reduce the tariffs to lower the cost of doing business. But overall, we'll collect more taxes. Isn't it? So let's cooperate between government and business. Tanzanian government, Zambian government, business in Tanzania, in Zambia. I thought I should drop to this level of conversation today. I think the rest, my big sister will talk about. My senior president. She became president before me. So in our region, there's a parking order. I know when my time to move, if we are in a meeting, is I can't move before her. Her car will come before mine. That's the culture we found. So she will pick it up from there. But honestly speaking, colleagues, I want to drive one message before I sit. Tanzania, Zambia, Africa cannot continue, should not continue to export raw materials. We shouldn't. The reason our economies are crawling in growth, very, gentle curve. What we want is a steep curve. The reason we have these gentle curves in growth, because we are not value adding. We are not processing. We have lesser beneficiation. You two business houses, I'm glad you've been meeting for much earlier when we were doing other things. You've got to talk how you transact more. Trade, yes, but how you invest more with each other. If Tanzania is ahead in a particular field in processing, mirror that plant in Zambia. Bring it, don't reinvent the wheel. Equally in Zambia, if we are able to produce more seed, I don't call it a raw material, seed that is processed, that is tested, that is assessed, that it has efficacy, higher germination percentage, higher yield. We must cooperate with Tanzania. We've been chatting about seed. We must cooperate for many reasons. One is that we'll grow our economies faster. Two, when you jointly invest, you will have vested interest. You will have keen interest to hear the policies coming through from Zambia and vice versa. And if those policies affect your business negatively, you in Tanzania will call a partner in Zambia and say, hey, can you go and talk to the treasury there? We don't like that policy they're about to bring about. Vested interest. And vice versa. Common interest. Number three, you'll be able to mobilize more investable resources together with your collective experience, collective networking. At this level where we are, President, myself, yourself, it's assumed that we are learned enough, we are skilled enough. But above that, our ability to network is important. Because the other thing is mundane, it's a given. So you are able to mobilize by networking your own Tanzanian savings capabilities, Zambia, but more with your connected world. And you may bring a third partner into business who may have a little bit more capital, who may have a little bit more technology. And it will be a win-win situation. At least you'll have processed the raw material in Tanzania and Zambia. So the pool of raw materials sit in Zambia, in Tanzania, and in other countries. We are looking up to you businessmen to exploit these and value add and sell to our domestic markets, Tanzania, Zambia, SADC, COMESA, African Union, and also into the global community. I was dragged out of the meeting, Your Excellency, and I'll be sitting down just now, where we were talking similar things, not exactly the same. So one visitor says to me, Mr. President, you are talking of the EV industry, and you are talking of at least making EV batteries here, motors, accessories. That may not help what you want, because I've heard you what you want. He's saying to me. Then my staff wanted to stop him and said, no, you are late in the other meeting. I said, I understand. I want to hear him to complete the story. And he says, actually, you who host the strategic minerals, it's high time you worked together to consider making cars for yourselves. Because if you make batteries, you make motors, electric motors, you make the wires, you make accessories, what is left is just the shell and the seats. So why shouldn't you be more ambitious than priding yourself that you'll be making EV batteries in your country? And the primary market is your own demand. And Tanzania, and SADC, and COMESA, and Africa. But we who have the technology are able and willing to work with you to actually manufacture the cars here. When he said here, he didn't mean in Zambia alone, madam. He meant it in our countries, in our region and continent. Open my ears. So, but who is going to make that possible? It's you people sitting here. We will facilitate policies, allocation of resource envelopes through the budgets, but it's you to take the lead. Tick, whatever we call them. Challenge these colleagues sitting here. That challenge us in government positively work with us, demand things, what you want. And that's what you want is what we want. If it drives development, it drives economic growth. The different airports, they're old. That's what society is. So let's work as partners. It starts with you. Hopefully you've signed deals in those rooms. If you haven't signed, we will have to make the airports unavailable for you to take off until you have signed those things. Your Excellency, thank you very much once more for your graciousness to bring these people and to grace our 59th independence anniversary. It's a rare opportunity to speak to these colleagues. And sometimes I miss business. Sometimes. But we are one and the same. We meet at a convergence point, which is to grow our businesses, to grow our economies, to look after the citizens of our countries. Thank you very much.
President of Zambia, my brother, HH. And you know what is in common between me and you? You are HH and I'm SSH. On that H. But I recognize the presence of honorable ministers from both Zambia and Tanzania, leaders of the chambers of commerce and the private sector foundations, distinguished members and gentlemen. Good day to you all. Dear members of the business communities, maybe before that I should congratulate the Zambians for the 59th anniversary of your independence. Congratulations. That's a big step forward, and a lot has been done and is going to be done, including what we are doing today. So this event marks a significant milestone in the bilateral relations between our two great nations, and it serves as an exceptional platform for fostering economic cooperation and forging stronger ties. I'd like to extend my heartfelt appreciation to our host, the people of Zambia, for their warm hospitality and for graciously welcoming us to this beautiful city of Lusaka. We are honored and grateful for the enduring friendship and unwavering commitment in bringing about socio-economic development between our two countries. Tanzania and Zambia, as you all know, share a rich history, and my brother has said it all. And they have been allies in the pursuit of regional stability, development, and prosperity. We are all blessed with abundant natural resources, also with a vibrant, dynamic human capital. We are not poor at all. We should know how to use them. Tanzania and Zambia are among the oldest allies in the region, and together advocated for the formation of the independence of the neighboring Southern African nation. These impressive relations have withstood the test of relation for the betterment of our two nations. In my country, the path I'm leading is guided by a philosophy of 4 R's: And these are reconciliation, resilience, reforms, and rebuilding. And exactly we are here for that. And together, bring closer the fortunes and the future of our countries. This new level of cooperation will focus on a stronger development to leverage. Ladies and gentlemen, it is against this backdrop that I heartily welcome the deliberations from the forum. We have had those two, and my brother have said about them, but we are looking forward with a great anticipation to the outcome of this gathering. And he has said it all. It's only, you shouldn't come with deliberations and outcomes of this forum, but you should come with clear indications, clear message to the government, with clear heart and determination that we want to do it. We shouldn't live here and go in a separate way. We go to Tanzania, you remain here in Zambia, but when it comes to implementation of those deliberations you have agreed, nothing is coming out of that. So he said it, we should act and stop the rhetoric. We should act so that we push the socio-economic development of our countries. I went through the program of this forum and found out that this forum is tailor-made and one that allows diverse engagement and business matching. With such diversity, I'm confident that participants will have fruitful and in-depth exchange of ideas that ultimately will shape the outcome of this forum to our advantage, two countries' advantage. I hope Tanzania and Zambia business people and the government officials gathered here will rise to the occasion and contribute to taking our economic relations to the next level. We are now creating setbacks for the borders to open and business to move. We shouldn't do that. My brother has said it. Those who are in the one-stop border post, we are now changing the names. Non-stop border post. I'll be preaching to the converted if I reiterate why you should invest and do business in Tanzania. I know all have been said here. However, let me leave you with three key messages. One, politically transparent and stable country, and one that upholds the tenets of good governance, respect of human rights and rule of law, just like Zambia. The fight against corruption and other vices in the society is unwavering. We are creating favorable environment for all, so welcome to Tanzania. The Zambians should come in good numbers to trade in Tanzania. Form collaborations, partnerships, work together and elevate the level of our trade volumes and in terms of money terms. My number two message is to this business community here is simple and direct, that Tanzania is growing. In addition to stability, the size of the market and supportive infrastructure, a key aspect that continues to attract investment to Tanzania. For the current financial year, which covered the period of July to September, Tanzania's GDP grew at a rate of 5.6%. During COVID, 7 to 4. And my brother was telling me they dropped to -2, and the growth now is 4%.
-2.8.
and the growth is 4%. Very impressive. So we dropped to 4, and we are now growing at 5.6. We are optimistic and justifiably so that in the coming 2 years, our GDP growth will return to its pre-COVID level, averaging over 6%. We are close to that percentage. Tanzania is the country of the present and the future. And if you are not investing in Tanzania, you are missing the action. So please do it now. Having given those messages, and in parting, let me emphasize on the following. First, Tanzania is ready to do business with you, and our doors are wide open. Please feel free to call on our government, trade and investment facilitation offices, including the Tanzania High Commission in Lusaka. You might have on improving our business relations or keeping us abreast of the success you record. What I want to say here is, through the embassy here in Lusaka, you may channel the challenges which you are experiencing in doing business with Tanzania, but as well you may report the successes that are happening so that we can assess how our people are implementing the agreed deliberations from this forum. Second, networking, as Mr. President has said. For us, we believe the private sector is the engine of our economic growth. And so, networking is very, very important. And I would like to encourage the business communities, Tanzania business community and Zambia, to have partnerships and networking so that we can work closer and in an easier way. 3, the political will from our two governments to increase trade volumes among our countries is evident. You have seen it. The President has said it all, but then the ministers have said it all. So I urge you to take advantage of this conducive environment. You may consider taking interest in adding value, as it was suggested, of agricultural produce such as maize, rice, sorghum, cassava, and oilseeds. We should work together on these areas. Lastly, our visionary founding fathers fought for political independence. We, the next generation of leaders, including you in the private sector, should fight for economic independence. We must work together. We must work together towards eliminating any form of market restrictive measures. We were told we have removed how many? 64 NTBs? 80. 80 out of 8 out of 24. So we still have to do. Yeah, much is desired. So please remove the market restrictive measures. Our economies need to complement to each other and not to compete to one another. I thank you very much.
For the continued call to action and encouragement of trade between Tanzania and Zambia. As we come close to the end of the official program for today, may I ask the technical desk to be ready with the Zambian national anthem. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us this full day for the Business Forum. As you well know, the two presidents have still got a very heavy schedule that will continue tomorrow, and at this time, we will allow them to take their leave. May we please be upstanding as we get ready to recognize the Zambia national anthem and allow the presidents to take their leave. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a round of applause as the Republican President, Mr. Hakainde Hichilema, and Her Excellency Dr. Samia Suluhu Hassan, President of the